How did you catch your partner cheating? Installed a keylogger on my computer, which she would delete the history on when she had been using it while I was in work. Logged all the cheating related conversations she was having through Facebook. Back in college, about 8 years ago, he was on Facebook and I was sitting on his lap and he was showing me pictures of his friends/family. He got bored and decided to go play PS2. I was going to log out of his account. But then something inside me was like, check his messages. They were empty. So I clicked on sent messages. Found a whole conversation between him and a girl he had slept with over winter break. I lived in a town 30 minutes away from the city I actually worked in. My band had a regular gig at a shithole, but awesome, dive club in the same city every Tuesday and Thursday night. So on those days I would just bring my gear with me and I'd chill out at the office until I had to be at the club. One day I realized I'd forgotten my gear, so I hauled ass back home after work. First I see a friend's truck in the driveway. No big deal. He's a mutual friend and was over a lot. No surprise to me, now, of course. So I walk into the house. See no one. Then walk in the bedroom where my guitar was and, well, who is that buck-ass naked in my bed? Said friend. Girlfriend was in the bathroom, so I went into the bathroom. She was pretty shocked. Sitting there on the toilet, I guess blasting friend jizz out of herself. I was pretty shocked, too. Like in shock. We'd been together almost 3 years and were discussing marriage. When I came out of the bathroom, the friend was dressed. I actually had to move my car to let him leave since I'd parked behind him. It was weird lol. But in retrospect, amusing. She was a terrible person for this and many reasons, so I am better off. I came home from work early hoping to surprise my husband with some Hawaiian pizza and walked in on him blowing another man. Came home from work super horny and found my wife sleeping. Crawled into bed and started working my magic. When things got good and steamy, a car door closed across the street. My wife jumps up, looks out of the window to see my car in the driveway and says, "Oh shit. My husband is home." Fun way to find out. This fucking asshole waited until the first 3-day weekend I had off in over a year to tell me, over MySpace, that he had been having a relationship with my wife for about 3 years. I was always okay with them hanging out together because I had legit female friends that I hung out with and was not trying to put my dick inside. Anyway, this dude finally gets a girlfriend, breaks off contact with us, thought he was my friend too, and my wife gets very upset. For months I'm pissed at this dude for upsetting her and making my life miserable in the process. Anyway, Labor Day weekend, after my wife was super pissed at me for something stupid, I get this message from him and all hell breaks loose. The thing that upset me most was that friends knew and didn't tell me, and it started before we were married and bought a house. Shit would have been so different if I just would have caught them in the act. Back in high school, my girlfriend at the time was getting quite friendly around this one kid. The last straw was when we were at a school dance and she showed up hammered, and was randomly screaming his name when we were dancing. I checked her phone a few days later, it was sitting in my locker, and I figured this was my chance, and sure enough, the bitch took his virginity that night at a party before the dance. Always trust your gut, boys. Suspected for a while, and then she gave me the "oh I love you but I'm not in love with you" speech. Finally looked at phone records and noticed one number she was calling/texting 2 to 3 hours a day. When confronted, she lied and said it was a female coworker. Looked in her phone and found texts. That's when I knew for sure. My boyfriend and I were sleeping. There was a knock on the door at 4 a.m. and he had some missed calls. He was knocked out, so I got up to open the door. It was his best friend's sister. She told me they usually had coffee in the mornings to talk and stuff. His best friend had recently died, so I didn't think much of it. She did seem surprised to see me though and was hesitant to come in when I invited her in. She apologized for coming and left rather quickly. Shortly after we broke up and he started seeing her. I was really naive back then. His nephew called to tell me he was kissing some slut at a game, in front of freaking everyone. This was back in high school. My best friend came to me with some suspicions. I called the guy and asked him man to man, "I need to know. He fessed up and even sent me the nudes she sent him, to reassure me he wasn't just messing with me. That biatch. He called me the next morning bawling his eyes out. She was a heroin-addicted stripper who didn't have custody of her own child. He knew he messed up and he admitted his mistakes, so I forgave him. Wife had a bowling team. It went from a bowling night to her night to get away. She started meeting new friends but not telling about these new people. Started getting these funny feelings. Found out she was sexting a bartender whom she tried to get me to become friends with before I found out. When I started telling her I didn't like the people she was friends with, she would fight with me saying that I can't tell her who she can hang out with and who she can be friends with. Yeah. Cunt. He had asked me to check something on his computer that he had been having trouble with. I turned his computer on and his browser automatically opened to several tabs of Craigslist sex ads he had posted. That gave me enough cause to dig deeper and found out he had been having sexual relationships with multiple men. She beat me in FIFA. I know damn well she didn't learn those moves from me. Just got back from deployment and was on vacation and I had her phone in my pocket. Cigarettes were in the same pocket, so when I pulled them out it was easier to just pull both out. She didn't have a lock on her phone and I accidentally opened a shit ton of stuff. I look down to turn it off and I see a text that says "come over and cuddle." At that point there was no question, I had to look. What I read killed me inside. There were multiple texts from different guys that she hooked up with. She also started a relationship with another guy. She did this all while I was overseas. Worse is we were in Punta Cana and I couldn't just leave. Much worse, I was in love with this girl beyond belief. I confronted her, it was horrible. Tried to forgive her, it just hurt so much I didn't want to hurt more. I told her she couldn't talk to him anymore and she instantly responded with "I can't do that, I've known him forever." I went numb after that. After that I tried to be a man she wouldn't cheat on. Though for the life of me I could figure out why she did it in the first place. All the while every time I went back to DC I would stress out. Her friends encouraged it and tried to go through my phone to find some dirt on me. They couldn't and something peculiar happened. During an argument my ex was being particularly vicious and came up close and said verbatim, "Are you gonna hit me now or what?" I couldn't believe that. Never hit a woman, never would. I could only respond with a "what type of guys did you date before me" comment. Well, we broke up and her friends spread rumors about me beating her and made me out to be a piece of shit. She went with it and is now dating one of the guys she cheated on me with. I found that out by a nice email her friends sent me. She went to go hang out with an ex. I'd met the guy before and he was alright. I didn't think to question it or anything until someone else mentioned it. I tell him I don't think she'll cheat, but I'm not her keeper. If she does, she does. She and him went shopping and he bought her a t-shirt with some witty saying on it or something, I can't really recall. Anyway, she texts me a pic of the shirt and boom, half a naked man off to the side of the picture in a mirror that she didn't see. I asked her about it and showed her the pic when she got home. Honestly, it wasn't that bad. After my friend had questioned it, I'd started to doubt her a bit. Seeing the pic just kinda confirmed it to me. Anyway, we're married now and go to swinger parties and stuff. He went to the lake alone for the weekend. I went over to his house to water my outside flowers. Her car was in his driveway. I parked my truck about a centimeter behind hers and had a friend come pick me up. Checked her Facebook after she told me that she had feelings for a guy at work, but that nothing at all had happened and that she wanted to try to work on us. Yeah, it felt wrong invading her privacy like that, but turns out she lied about nothing happening. His friend, thinking I knew and had already forgiven, made a crack about the time he found my boyfriend and his girlfriend together in front of me at a New Year's Eve party. She told me, tearfully, after first suggesting it would be okay if I wanted to sleep with other women. The second time was when she came back from a business trip with an open box of condoms in her bag. She said she was going over to a female friend's house. She told me the day before that this friend went out of town. I guess she thought I was dumb. Confronted her about it when she came back that night. Turns out she was the dumb one that forgot she told me this. It's okay, I messed up her credit and rental history. She asked me to look at her phone, it was acting up. While I was going through settings and stuff, her ex texted wanting to know what time their check-in for the hotel was on Saturday. She had told me she was going with her parents to a family reunion. I had already suspected things due to her deleting everything off the phone and generally acting like cheaters act when they are feeling guilty. This was pretty much just confirmation. Oops. Not me, but my friend. He was on a weekend trip with me and another guy, and had brought up how he thinks Erica is cheating on him, live-in girlfriend. I drop him off on Sunday night, and Monday morning I get a text that asks me to call him when I can. I call him and he said that he caught Erica cheating on him because when he walked into the house, their only toilet had the seat up. He questioned her and she initially said that her dad had visited, but then she came clean and told him she had basically banged a guy in their bed all weekend. Oh, here's a good one. My dad was getting married the next day and I was staying at his empty house while coordinating the wedding, with my boyfriend. My friend was over with us helping with programs and last-minute details. I had to run up to the store and run some other errands. I left and then remembered I had forgotten something I needed to return. I went back to, remember, my dad's house and went in, and my ex was in the bathroom. I was calling out for my friend and she was conveniently missing. He wouldn't open the bathroom door for me, so I kicked it open and there she was squatting in the corner, and there he was, caught with his pants down. She had been blowing him. I kicked them both out and haven't spoken to her since. The ex-boyfriend and I stayed together for a bit, but it was never the same after that. The kicker is that she told me that they were in there together planning a secret surprise for me. What in the actual fuck?